either stand or sit, whatever you prefer, and we're going to sing Everything New. Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for someone, something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be alright, yes I will once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new.
And thank you, Rob Resitar, right? Did I pronounce it right?
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, try my last name. Okay, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning. My name is Kay Yules, and I am your trustee on duty today. I almost did it again. On behalf of Reverend Donna Maurer and the Board of Trustees, as well as our crack practitioners, we welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly welcome here. Here you will be validated and supported and encouraged to be all that you were meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind, which you can find on the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligence is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Do we have any first-timers here today that would like to stand up and introduce themselves? Doris?
My daughter and son-in-law was a week.
For a week? Awesome. Carrie and Dennis. Nice to have you here. Woo. let there be light, and there is. All right. Any other newcomers? First-timers? Returnees? All right. Well, we're glad that all of you are here. We just wouldn't have the same energy in this room if it weren't for every one of you. Please do enjoy refreshments with us. Let us get to know you, and you can get to know us just a little bit more. And I would like to thank all those who bring this Sunday celebration to what it is. All the volunteers who are behind the scenes, all you sitting in the chairs in front of me. If it weren't for all of you, we wouldn't be here, and it certainly wouldn't be the same. And thank you for everybody who sets up and takes down every week. We've got a crew of people that just is amazing. Please direct your attention to the announcements that are in your bulletin. And if you're watching online, please visit cslaz.org for our announcements and event calendar.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for the greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for the greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. How are you today? Good? Everybody enjoying? Do you know that we had one day of spring? And now it's summer, right? So welcome to Practitioner Sunday. The big picture for today is like a garden. I dig up the dirt and pull the weeds. John does the planting, and Louise will speak to the celebration of the bloom. It's going to be fun. I light this candle, recognizing the light is the magic of the soul. And I encourage you all to share your light. So for our invocation, I relax into the knowing that every experience brings me to rejoice at the rising of the sun. I anticipate the glorious bloom of my labor. Spring is here with fresh new perspectives. I accept where I am now and anticipate growth. Our service today reflects the joys of fresh perspectives as we celebrate this day here and now. We are thankful for you, for our ecclesiastical team, our musician, and our center. And together we say, and so it is. Today my sharing comes from Bruce Lipton's book, Spontaneous Evolution, Our Positive Future and a Way to Get There from Here. I had a little problem with my glasses. What are your programmed perceptions? Our life is not controlled by the conscious mind, which is wishes and desires. It's controlled by the subconscious, which has been programmed by observing other people. To understand the behavior in one's life, consider that you were a 5-year-old child throwing a tantrum in Walmart over your desire to have a particular toy. In silencing your outburst, your father yelled at you, "You don't deserve things." You are now an adult, and in your self-conscious mind, you are considering the idea that you have the qualities and power to assume a position of leadership at your job. While in the process of entertaining this positive thought in the self-conscious mind, all of your behaviors are now automatically managed by the programs in your more powerful subconscious mind. Since your fundamental behavior programs are those derived in your formative years, your father's admonition that you do not deserve things may become the subconscious mind's automated directive. So while you are entertaining wonderful thoughts of positive future and not paying attention, your subconscious mind is automatically engaging self-sabotaging behaviors to assure that your reality matches your program of non-deserving. Now here's the catch. Behavior is automatically controlled by the subconscious mind's programs when the self-conscious mind is not focused on the present moment. That's all he says about that, but I had to really consider that. In every class, every book, every reading, we are encouraged to be in the present moment. When the reflective self-conscious mind is pre-programmed, preoccupied in thought and not paying attention, it does not observe the automatic behaviors denied from subconscious mind. Since 95% or more of our behavior is derived from the subconscious mind, then most of our behavior is invisible to us. What are your perceptions today? Epigenetic, which means you can have an effect on how your genes are expressed. Epigenetic mechanisms are largely controlled by a person's perception, interpretation of the environment. Since we learn perception starting while we are still in the fetal stage of development, many of our learned programs are downloaded into the subconscious even before we become aware. Scientists reveal that 95 to 99% of our life is controlled by the programs stored in the subconscious mind. So if we received bad training between the fetal stages and the first 6 years of our lives, these acquired beliefs are the primary determinants that influence the epigenetic readout of our genes. Something to think about. It's important to note that the belief that one has bad genes can actually create a bad protein from a good gene. Also, the belief that I cannot heal myself can also interfere with own ability to heal ourselves. The problem, we rarely observe our own subconscious behaviors. Therefore, we almost never understand that we are unknowingly engaging in behaviors that are limiting and self-sabotaging to our biology. Because we are unaware of these behaviors when we have problems in health and relationships, we rarely recognize that we were involved with creating them. Digging up the weeds. The role of genes, nature, is primarily shaped by our life experiences, nurture. However, the latter influences of the mind over genes are almost always related to beliefs that are buried in our subconscious mind and are not frequently known by the conscious mind. So the source of our issues, that is ourselves, is rarely recognized. Hence, we have the inclination to blame outside sources for the problems we experience in life. This is why I emphasize the necessity of identifying and rewriting the unseen behaviors programmed into our subconscious minds. Your life is a printout of your subconscious programs. Is there a way to change these patterns? Yes, you can reprogram the subconscious mind. All of us got programmed when we were very young, and the programs even started before we were born. We were programmed already in the uterus. So the program occurred before you were born, and therefore you can't tell me what all the programs are that you have. You weren't even conscious at that point. So then I say, how will I know what the programs are? You don't need to go to a psychiatrist to figure it out. The reason why is simple. It's 95% of your life. It comes from the subconscious programs. So by definition, your life is a printout of your subconscious programs. So the things that you like and that come easily to you in your life are there because you have a program that allows them to be there. In contrast, anything that you have to work hard at, put a lot of effort into, or anything that you have to struggle for to make it happen is a result of your programs not supporting that. So if you're trying to find a relationship, or you can never get into a relationship, and you're thinking it's not in my fate to be in a relationship, this is not true. It is because whatever programs your mother and father and family had about relationships is not supportive. And the second reason is that these programs, you play these programs 95% of the time and you don't see them. So that means at least 95% of the time you are sabotaging yourself and you don't see it. And therefore you never understood why your relationships were not working. And that's how you know what programs you want to change. So you ask, where are the troubles in my life? If they exist in relationship, for example, you know you have to change your belief about relationships. And then you can work on yourself. So first it is about recognizing the patterns do come from programming and that you can change them. Now, there's always that belief that you can talk to your subconscious mind. And people try this, and they find themselves playing their programs again. And they get mad at themselves, and they get frustrated because they think, I keep talking to myself, and it's not changing. You have to remember that you are like an entity in the conscious mind. But the subconscious mind is like a machine. It records, pushes a button, and plays back. So if you're trying to talk to the subconscious as if there was somebody in there, it's frustrating because there's nobody in there to listen. That's not how the subconscious changes. And that's why most people have a lot of problems and get mad at themselves when it doesn't change. Well, that's simply not how it learns. So the two minds learn differently. The conscious mind is called creative and can learn by reading a self-help book or going to a lecture, watching a video, or reading an article. It is creative. It gives, I have an idea, now I change my mind. The subconscious mind is a habit mind. And the most important thing about a habit mind is that you don't want it to change very quickly because otherwise habits fall apart. So it is resistant to change. That's the first thing we have to realize. It's not easy to change like the creative mind. So how do I change my subconscious mind? How does it learn? Number one, the first 7 years, the mind is operating in a low vibrational frequency, like hypnosis. So one way of changing the program is hypnosis. Number two, after you are 7, you form habits by repeating something over and over and over again. Practicing, repeating, practicing. An example, if you read a self-help book, the conscious mind understood it, but the subconscious mind learned nothing from it because you only read it once, and this is not how it learns. If you repeat the message of the book over and over and over again and behave that way, then the subconscious mind will learn a new behavior. So it's all about habituation, where you make a practice out of something every day, repeat it over and over again. So these are the two main ways, hypnosis and habituation. Now there's a third way, and it's new, and it's called energy psychology, and it activates the brain to be in a state of super learning. If you engage super learning, you can rewrite subconscious programs in about 10 minutes. Something you have had your whole life can be rewritten in 10 minutes. Now, there are a bunch of different techniques, but the function are all about the same manner. It pushes the record button of the subconscious mind so you can download new data very, very fast. And on Bruce Lipton's website, which is brucelipton.com, under resources, there's a list of 20 different energy psychology processes, of which are very effective and can help us rewrite our subconscious beliefs. When you rewrite the software of your mind, you can change the printout of your life. Namaste. I'll take the candle and hold the high watch, and I'm ready to accept your prayer request.
The title of my reading is Planting Our Intentions. Today, we align to the spring equinox of the Northern Hemisphere and step into the conscious planting of our intentions. In Science of Mind, we use the example of the seed, soil, and plant to explain the creative process. The process we put into action with our thoughts. It all begins in the soil of the mind, where we plant the seeds of what we want to harvest. Then we allow the law to do what it does, and ultimately give us the fruits of the seeds we sowed. As Science of Mind practitioners, we know that our thoughts create our experience. However, because we live in a world of effects, the challenge becomes, how do we rise high as we grow deeply? First, take time for introspection. It's important to take quality time with ourselves, make an appointment to be with our divine self. During this appointment, disconnect from the comings and goings, from the activities that you think you need to fulfill. Disconnect from any chores of the day, from TV, social networks, newspapers, emails, and all the other things we do. On this date with yourself, be kind, be gentle, be grateful, and above all, avoid judging what you don't like. Rather, observe those areas of your life where you have forgotten that you are a divine being. When you're aware of an area where you do not like what you see and it triggers you, ask yourself, say, self, am I reaching from love or fear? Or even attempting a spiritual bypass? Am I worried, preoccupied, or feeling indifferent? Notice, what is the vibration your body feels when you think about this topic? Does it feel good? During your divine appointment with yourself, pay attention to the feeling. The intention is to notice, not necessarily to change or bypass the feeling. Face your spiritual bypass. The world of effects is constantly changing, and sometimes things happen that are not pleasant or logical to our perception of life. When we are searching for a spiritual answer, it can be common to turn around the bad that happens in the world because it can hurt or cause suffering. And we find the answer by creating a spiritual bypass for ourselves. There are people who say that everything is fine, or things happen for a reason, but within themselves, they often suffer some sorrow or emptiness and are sidestepping the feelings. When this happens, it is possible to have to experience a spontaneous, deep, spiritual, truth-based awareness that all is well. But for many people who have lived their life holding on to a series of negative thoughts and feelings, a sudden, spontaneous, positive thought typically does not change the deeply held core beliefs. Eckhart Tolle tells us, when you are immersed in compulsive thinking, you are avoiding what is. You don't want to be where you are. Melinda said, be here now. Be in the present moment. Remember, the things and experience you do not like are not outside of oneness. They must also be part of the whole. Just because you are rising higher and growing deeper does not mean that nothing challenging will occur in the world of effects. But it does mean that you have the opportunity to stop feeling that you are the doer, that you must fix your feelings. And instead, you can allow the sway of life to flow and express as you. And as you do, the eternal awareness becomes what you sow, what you plant. When you are conscious of your triggers, you are more able to observe whether you are feeling fear or love. If the triggering issue leads to feeling anger, disappointment, frustration, or fear, take a pause. Observe your thoughts without dwelling on them. Quantum physics tells us that we live in a world of infinite possibilities, and that we create our experience through the attention and intention we give in the moment. In such moments, wrap your thoughts in love and begin to find gratitude for the new awareness that the trigger provided. We can always find something to be grateful for, even something small. When triggers arise, open your heart and remember to sow in your being this feeling of gratitude. Thank you. Namaste.
Good morning. My topic is spring, thus the flowers. Spring is a season of renewal and rebirth. As the cold goes away and the desert comes alive, a sense of newness and vitality is in the air. This powerful energy can be likened to a spiritual awakening that may serve as a metaphor to fuel our personal growth. New possibilities seem endless, and the world feels full of potential. Let's take a closer look at how we can access this magical power to deepen our connection to our true selves. An unexplainable power guides all trees to bud and bloom in the spring. We are connected to this very same power, and spring is a time for us to harness this energy, work alongside it, and access more growth in an awakening process within ourselves. A spiritual awakening is a call to a higher consciousness and deeper mental awareness. The process of spiritual awakening brings about personal transformation and a shift in one's worldview. When someone goes through a spiritual awakening, they experience a shift in their mental framework. There are many different ways people experience a spiritual awakening. Often they encounter a major life-changing event that sets them off on an extraordinary journey within. Other times they experience an awakening process more subtly. By committing to meditation, mindful practices, they discover inner truths that lead them in new directions that are more aligned with their purpose. Spring is an optimal time for these internal changes because we can shed old patterns and habits that no longer serve us and embrace fresh new perspectives. We can metaphorically let go of old negative habits and ways of being and commit to being new with a more aligned sense of who we truly are. Sometimes we can get stuck in old patterns from our past experiences, or even those we may have been born into, as Melinda said. Where are you? Over there. So let me find that. It's easy to feel disconnected and as if we are going through the motions. Spring's energy and symbolism offer an opportunity for reflection and introspection. As the earth reawakens, it is also a time to reconnect with ourselves and our goals. Spring is a time to contemplate your unique purpose. You may be surprised to discover it's not what you thought. Remain open to discovery. This is a really important part of spiritual awakening, letting go and allowing yourself to be surprised by what you may discover. Take the time to reflect on your personal journey and set intentions for growth in areas that need attention. This can involve journaling, meditation, and just spending quiet time in nature. Nature offers the ultimate symbol of rebirth and renewal, making it the perfect ally for our personal growth during spring. We can take advantage of the wisdom found by observing nature all around us and paying attention to those signs. We are all here to flourish into who we are meant to be. In some areas of our lives, we may be right there. In others, we may need to do some digging and discovery. In all cases, a universal power and presence guides us and shows us the way. Our blessing is to be who we truly are. So I'm going to close this by reading Spring Prayer. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my favorite authors. For flowers that bloom about our feet, for tender grass so fresh, so sweet, for song of bird and hum of bee, for all things fair we hear or see, Father in heaven, we thank thee. For blue of stream and blue of sky, for pleasant shade of branches high, for fragrant air and cooling breeze, for beauty of the blooming trees, Father in heaven, we thank thee. Thank you.
Well, if you'd like to sing along now on our next song, Love is My Decision. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, my decision, here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, love will show me how. Love is my decision, my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, Lord will show me how. Love is my decision, my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and now.
Okay. It's now time for our offering. So if you will read the offering affirmation that's in your program, read along with me. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We are indeed so blessed and so grateful for all that we have. So join me now as we close today's celebration with a closing prayer. So let's know together that there is only God, everywhere present, filling all space. source of all creation, manifesting in, through, and as everyone here today in this sanctuary. And I know, declare, and affirm that God is right where there may be any kind of a challenge going on with us or in the world right here and right now. God is there. God has its back. God has our back. And that our center is a shining light in the world, a shining light in, through, and as each one of us here today. I'm so grateful for this truth. And together we say, and so it is. So let's circle around and sing.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace.